Deputy Pádraig Mac Lochlainn TD.
Gura Mágad, last count quarter. Minister, I had hoped to get the opportunity to discuss the unemployment crisis in Donegal with you at an earlier stage last year, but your colleague, Minister of State, took the session that day. So I'm going to take this opportunity now to take you through the history of the unemployment crisis in Donegal, because it's not a new one. Minister, as you'll recall, the fruit of the loom textile industry collapsed in Donegal. Really, the signs of it were in the late 90s, but it collapsed into the early 2000s. And at that time, there was an employment task force established by the then government to address what was a real crisis. It wasn't just, of course, fruit of the loom. It was the entire textile industry in that region at that time had collapsed. And what was put in place were very definite job creation targets over the next 7 years that would have amounted to about 6,000 net gain in jobs. That was the scale of what was required just to allow Donegal to start to catch up with the then employment levels across the state. After almost that 7 years had moved on, there was no real progress. Donegal's unemployment levels were still in around 14–15%, which at that time was almost 4 times the state average. And then they put in place the interdepartmental report, the group that was to work together across all departments, because there was a unique job creation challenge in Donegal. So that was the context as we came into the late 2000s. Unemployment at that stage was 8,300 in Donegal. It's a lot of people. That was 14%. Minister, unemployment in Donegal today is at 28%. There are about 23,000 of our workforce that are out of full-time employment. It is an absolutely profound crisis that we have in the county. Donegal is a county of natural entrepreneurs, people who want to work, given the chance. And there are 1 or 2 examples. Primerica stands out right now as a really solid example of what our workforce has to offer in Donegal if given the chance. But Minister, I'm going to give you now some shocking statistics. These are absolutely shocking. Remember that the unemployment levels in Donegal are the highest in the state by quite a mile, and they're pretty bad everywhere else too, but we're the highest by a mile, and youth unemployment is almost 50%. Now here's the statistics, Minister, for your job creation agencies last year. Enterprise Ireland, net job losses in Donegal, 129. We actually lost jobs. The IDA, number of site visits in Donegal in 2012, 0. Not one site visit in the county with the crisis that we have in 2012. If you look at the overall issue of the IDA, as you know, Minister, 50% of jobs were to be created outside of the major cities of Dublin and Cork. What was actually created outside of Dublin, Cork, Galway, Limerick and Louth, an area in rural Ireland, including my own county Donegal, which is about 50% of the population of the state, the IDA attracted around 2.5% of their overall jobs. Now, I commend the IDA. I had the opportunity when I was spokesperson on Foreign Affairs and Trade to see for myself in the United States the reputation they have and the work they do out there. But they're not bringing it to the regions, Minister. And I see with your latest plan, apparently you've scrapped the 50% target. How can you stand over this? How can you stand over this? How could you go on to a radio station in Donegal or visit Donegal and tell us that your government has your finger on the pulse and is aware of the extent of the crisis?
No, made the one.
Minister, there are solutions, as you know. You don't need to listen to Sinn Féin, the Irish Congress, trade unions. Every Nobel Prize winning economist that I can see tells you that we need to reverse the insanity of austerity-only policies. There is billions in our National Pension Reserve Fund. There is the European Investment Bank. There is pension funds here in Ireland. There are resources that can be deployed. You have to give people hope. As a representative of the people of Donegal, it's just got from bad to worse. We want to work in our county, but you have to meet us halfway in government. You have to bring in investment into the regions. You have to ensure that the likes of assisting employers to keep people in work. We've given you a whole range of proposals. You've been presented with our jobs proposals and our jobs plan. But I appeal to you, and I am taking this opportunity as a Donegal representative, Minister. I've given you those figures. They're absolutely indefensible. Absolutely indefensible. Your colleague now, Minister of State John Perry, joins you. I addressed Minister of State last year, John Perry. I brought these numbers to his attention. Please give us some kind of assurance. You know the wider issue, you know the wider employment crisis, but I cannot stand here tonight and not bring to your attention directly the scale of the crisis in our county and the scale of the failure by your job creation agencies and your government to go in there and address it. Give the people of the county some hope, Minister, and please take on board what I've said here tonight.